understand this channel has had some criticism for being negative. To be honest, I don't really see it that way. I see it more as constructive. Now, I recognise it's not like the Gotham cast and crew are watching these videos or anything. Like, no way. I'm far too small of a channel, and I doubt they really take notes from people on YouTube anyway. Professionals very much have their way of doing things, but the thing is, I think it's good for thought. It's good things to think about, you know? And truth be told, I do not think negatively towards Gotham. Gotham is my favourite show on TV, right? And yeah, I have criticisms to make about it, but I think it takes for a person that genuinely, really loves a show to be prepared to look at its flaws and say, okay, perhaps this could be better. I don't trust anyone that says they're the biggest fan of something ever, but they won't even acknowledge any flaws with it, you know? So, okay, if you do find these too negative, maybe these videos just aren't for you. But otherwise, welcome back to Channel Pup. I've got a lot of great glowing things to say about Gotham, and I've made a video that was before Season 5 came out, where I was basically just thanking this show for existing, so if you do want something positive, that is there. So I realise I've talked a lot about Gotham's Joker. In fact, it's become something of a meme. I'm kind of the Jerome gang, and the rest of you have all moved on to Jeremiah, or well, a lot of you anyway. And I have made my point clear that I still pledge my allegiance to the first Valeska brother, but I don't feel like I have in any adequate way explained why I feel the way I do and as strongly as I do. And I know what you're thinking, get over it, Will, that character's gone, he's over, you're just mad that they've killed off your favourite character. And I know that basically my reasoning for preferring Jerome as conveyed in previous videos has amounted to nothing more than fun. But I do have a reasoning, and I'm going to actually explain that in this video more in depth than I have in previous videos, and then we'll get on with more Gotham content. But first, I just want to say I have seen episode 8 of Season 5, nothing shocking, and I thought it was pretty good. I noticed that we've really gone back to the Villain of the Week sort of format that Season 1 had, and I don't know why they've done that for the final season, because it's another episode that feels like they're just kind of killing time until the finale. Also, was that... okay, it's spoiler alert here. Was that Killer Croc in the episode? Is there any official confirmation that that's Killer Croc? Because we've seen characters that much more resemble Killer Croc in previous episodes. Say, Season 3, Episode 1, there was definitely a character that had scales on him, and he was very big and hunched over and everything. I'm pretty sure I'd already accepted that as Killer Croc, so I'm not sure why we need a new one. As for Ventriloquist, yeah, okay, he was done well enough. He kind of just stood there for a bit, killed some time, then died, but hey, it was alright. And that, again, highlights a problem. I don't have much to say about some of these Gotham episodes that are coming out recently, because they do kind of feel like filler. But, so that's why I'm kind of harping on the whole Joker thing now at this point. So I'm going to start with the reason why I prefer Jerome, and I feel like it can be summed up in one particular scene from the Season 3 episode, The Gentle Art of Making Enemies. It is the scene where Jerome invades Wayne Manor, and he goes to Bruce Wayne's fireplace and picks up the glass owl statue. And Bruce bluffs and says, "Oh, it's nothing, my father bought it on a flea market." Jerome is really clever in that he wants to check if Bruce is bluffing by throwing it onto soft ground to see how Bruce would react. And Bruce panicked. So Jerome then saw that Bruce panicked and it does in fact mean something, and then smashed it onto the tiles. So he knows, he's several steps ahead of Bruce. He knows how to play him and how to read him. So here's the thing. People who defend the Jeremiah twist, and of course may I iterate, have every right and reason to do so, but people that do defend the Jeremiah twist say that Jerome was more of a flash-in-the-pan, chaotic sort of character. Jeremiah is the intelligence, but actually question, was Jerome unintelligent? Was he just a flash-in-the-pan? No, because he was intelligent enough to call Bruce out on his lies. And as well as that, we also see that in the same episode, Jerome gets Bruce into a jam in the Circus of Death that Bruce, by all realistic circumstances, could not possibly escape. Okay, no one would ever make the calculation of, he'll pick some staples out of his wrists and escape. No one would account for that, so you can't blame him for that. Bruce was well and truly in that jam. So the thing is, Jerome was extremely intelligent, and also consider his whole plans in That's Entertainment, where he has the mayor hostage and, you know, basically hijacks the entire rock show. It takes some brains to really do that, and we haven't seen the Joker in the comic books and other media really go that far above and beyond that level of intelligence. But here's the thing that for me makes Jerome the better character, is that Jerome actually has a weakness. You see, in The Gentle Art of Making Enemies, Bruce manages to play and appeal to Jerome's inner showman, which makes for Jerome's weakness is his desire for showmanship, for fun, for excitement. See, Bruce explains to Jerome that he shouldn't just kill him unceremoniously in Wayne Manor when he has the chance. In this, scene, Jerome technically would have every advantage to just kill Bruce on the spot, but Bruce buys his time by taking advantage of the fact that it should be a ceremonious act. Jerome recognizes this, but he chooses to run the risk. He acknowledges that Bruce is trying to buy his time. He's smart enough. He knows when people are lying. And ultimately, it was in taking that risk and desiring the fun side which led to Jerome's defeat. Because had he not agreed to Bruce's proposition of killing him ceremoniously, he could have done it. He could have defeated Bruce Wayne, and without Bruce Wayne in the picture, they wouldn't have had the intel to really stop him in future stories in Season 4. This brings us through to Jeremiah, who for me is a bit of a Gary Stu in that he doesn't really have much of a weakness. He's ultra intelligent, but unlike Jerome, he doesn't really have that sense of insecurity and showmanship. It was suggested throughout Season 4 that throughout his entire life, Jeremiah had been repressing his insanity and laying low throughout his entire life, just waiting for the right time to strike, and that Jerome was kind of the prototype for his own insanity. Kind of a ridiculous story because you wouldn't really account for these things. You wouldn't say okay, it is in my plan that my brother will escape from Arkham Asylum and be resurrected and prove that I can succeed where he didn't. That's what they're sort of trying to convey with Jeremiah's plans here. Yeah, at the same time it feels indecisive, because at the same time Jeremiah is kind of treated as the last will and testament of Jerome, so it's kind of like a conflict between, is he a new character? Is he the seed of the Joker? Is he the one that was created by Jerome, or did he create Jerome first? It's very, very convoluted. But this is the thing, unlike Jerome, Jeremiah doesn't beg for attention, he knows when to lay low. But in that regard, he doesn't really have much of a weakness. He's almost as sadistic as Jerome, not quite as creative, but much more productive, much more methodical, and yeah, you would have to be a genius to build the things that Jeremiah has built. But in giving Jerome a weakness early on, being his showmanship, we had a good setup for Jerome's defeats and his ultimate end. When we bring us round to Ace Chemicals in Season 5, what is it that actually defeats Jeremiah Valeska? What is it that puts him in the chemicals? Just a swing and a miss, really, when you think about it. And that has no thematic weight to this character. Now, I understand that this isn't a death or anything, but if we consider Jerome's defeat in Season 3, that wasn't a death either. But he was brought to his defeat by his own flaws. And this is the thing with Jeremiah Valeska, is he's not a character that has any flaws as far as a villain is concerned. He just is what he is. He hasn't been properly defeated yet. In Season 4, his plans went right ahead. He successfully destroyed Gotham, which is much more than the Joker usually does, to be honest. And then when he was finally dealt with, it was just literally he swung for a punch and coincidentally the handrail happened to be a bit flimsy and then down he went. And this is another thing where I think Gotham has a bit of a Joker problem. When the Joker finally emerges from Jeremiah Valeska, how is he going to top any of what Jeremiah has done? Gotham will be rebuilt. It will get better after No Man's Land. I think that's a given. So is he just going to do that again? Is he just going to plot to do that again? Because that then makes the Joker a character with a very defined motivation, is he wants to destroy Gotham. And yeah, the Joker does ultimately kind of want to bring law and order to its knees. That's kind of been his motive in the comics. But it's never been so clear-cut. He's always gone through a number of schemes to get there. I feel like as far as villainy goes, and as far as evil schemes go, Jeremiah has set the bar far too high for his Joker persona to possibly actually live up to it. And what I fear is that we will then see the Joker in the season finale, and he comes out acting like, kind of more like Jerome in that he's got the showmanship, but then that leaves the question of why? Where did he get that from? Jerome was kind of raised in a circus, Jeremiah was kind of raised in like private schools and, you know, silver spoon in his mouth after he, you know, went off to his foster family. Ultimately, I feel like Jerome as a character thematically has much more weight to him. He feels much more well thought through. And this is kind of my issue with Gotham Season 4 and 5 onwards, is it feels like in regard to this character, it's getting very, very convoluted. And I feel like the Gotham writers think this is like their magnum opus, but from where I'm sitting, it just looks like they're making it up as they go along. I mean, consider this. It was part of Jeremiah's plans in a bid to lay low again to get stabbed by Selina 9 times without wearing a protective vest. Who the heck includes that in their plans? And I guess you could say Jeremiah's insane, but they've been pushing for the sanity angle up until his Ace Chemicals bath, I guess. Like, how did he calculate that? There is being a calculating mastermind, and then there is just doing away with suspension of disbelief. I mean, even a show as wacky as Gotham has its limits. Now, I guess what they're trying to do is give the Joker an actual origin story in Gotham, but the thing is, they don't have the rights to use the Joker. There are certain restraints that they have to abide by, understandably so, because the Joker and Harley Quinn have been quite a major part of the DC Extended Universe, and they don't want to dilute the brand, and I guess we just have to respect that. I think it's a stupid rule, but I guess that means that they've got no major plans for Penguin and Riddler. But the thing is, the more they try to make him the Joker, and the more they try to make it definitive, the more obvious it becomes that they're not actually allowed to use the character. Now, I would have been fine with not seeing the origins of the Joker. I would have been fine with never seeing the Joker in this show whatsoever. I would have been fine with Jerome just being this show's equivalent to the Joker, and then we do not see his ending. We don't see him go into a vat of acid, we don't see him get white face makeup, we don't see him get green hair. I would have been okay with it, because Gotham is, at the end of the day, a show about origin stories, about versions of these characters before they went on to become the characters we know them as from other media. I think that's really interesting, it makes it very distinctive, and like, to be honest, I don't blame the Gotham writers and producers for wanting to really embrace the source material, but personally I think Gotham was at its best when it was a new take on these characters, where you could see glimmers of who they would go on to be. So like the season 1 through 2 period, for me, I think is when we had the best sort of style for these characters, the best stories were told. And that doesn't mean I think it peaked early. I think there are some fantastic Season 3 episodes, and I would still consider Season 4 to be one of my favourite seasons. And yeah, I'm enjoying Season 5, I won't really give a verdict on that until it's over. But yeah, that's why for me I feel like the more the show becomes Batman, the more obvious it becomes that it can't be Batman. And that kind of, I think that's where the downfall is starting to come in for Season 5 in particular. So what do you think of this whole thing? Do you think the whole Jerome to Jeremiah thing is a good analogy for why Gotham should perhaps just follow its own path and not become too much like the comics? And are you like me and prefer Jerome? Are you able to find something in Jeremiah that I perhaps can't? If so, feel free to comment below. I would love to hear other perspectives as always. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you are new to this channel and you enjoyed what you saw here, don't forget to subscribe. And I have a Discord server now, link is in the description below. If you're not new here, you're just back again, well, good to see you again. Have a great day, guys, and thanks for watching.